This is you.
Straight into the decimator?
Hold on, I need to start this. No, it's not in the decimator.
This is your. Ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon and welcome to Yale's rugby pitch here in historic New Haven, Connecticut for the 2019 Kuranda Cup featuring the Bulldogs of Yale and the Tigers of Princeton. I am Austin Ryan and I have the pleasure of bringing you this next level rugby production. I am alongside sophomore Yale Lucas. Want to introduce yourself very quickly?
Yes, I'm a sophomore on the Yale rugby team and would love to have been playing today. Unfortunately, I'm sidelined with an injury, but here to add some commentary and analysis to the competition.
And we appreciate you joining us today, Lucas. And while the weather may not be champagne, we should be expecting some champagne rugby between these two historic rugby teams in the Ivy League Conference. As we get started here, Princeton is deep into Yale's territory. Yale will be looking to exit. Kevin Gallagher, the sophomore blindside flanker, carries. And referee Amelia Luciano awards a high tackle penalty to Yale, and they'll be looking to exit quickly. Lucas, very quickly, what implications does the weather play on a game like today?
Well, we spent a lot of time practicing in this kind of weather, so we're used to the conditions. Hoping that kind of with the wet ball, we're looking to make shorter passes and some simpler plays, and hoping to cash the team out with some handling errors on their part.
And the sophomore hooker, Tatway Lee, throws to the back pod. And here comes Joseph Good, the senior halfback, who looks like a heavy runner up the middle. This is good, sloppy play here. And this is the inside center, Scott Coburn, the senior inside center, unfortunately loses the ball forward. And right to your point, Lucas, sloppy ball, needs to play tighter.
So this scrum, this is what we've been working on a lot. I know the Princeton team also have a good scrum. We'll be looking for a big push and fast defense up to take advantage of any handling errors in the Princeton backline.
Referee Luciano not happy with the engagement, so she resets the scrum. Putting the ball in for Princeton will be the sophomore Frenchman Hughes de Neuville.
Now our sophomore Daniel Marsh on the Yale Rugby team, he's a strong kicker. We'll be looking to immediately exit as soon as we get a turnover here. Equally, Princeton, I know, have some strong runners. We'll be looking to take advantage of the gaps in their defense.
And de Neuville feeds the scrum. Pressured by the opposing halfback, Good. Princeton looking to the far side of the field here. This is de Neuville. Attacking forward for Princeton is number 5, Jeremy Evans, the sophomore lock. Front football here for the Tigers. This is Slade, the senior fly half, pressured by a host of Yale Bulldogs.
Strong tackle there from Scott Coburn to put him on the back foot and win the game line.
And fullback Greg McCord, the junior for Princeton, comes in at first receiver, and the de Neuville continues to force the wide side of the field, but Yale up strong in defense. And penalty awarded to Princeton, not rolling away in the tackle. That is big number 5, Ian Reed, the senior lock for the Bulldogs, committing the penalty here. And Lucas, right there, that kind of penalty, Ian thought he had rights to the ball and didn't, or just slippery conditions?
I would say a mix of both. I know we work hard to, as a team, to win these penalties and working hard in the ruck. So getting hands on the ball. Obviously, wet conditions don't help there. It makes things difficult, slippery, and hard to release at times.
And in the meanwhile, Princeton goes quickly. Couple of phases in the midfield, but then ball's knocked forward, and it'll be a scrum to the Bulldogs here, just outside the Bulldog 22. Joseph Good, the senior scrum half from Richmond, Virginia. He stands at 5'9", 160 pounds. He will put the ball in for the Bulldogs.
Referee once not again, not very happy with the height, I think, there and the engagement between the two sides. Be looking for a slightly more disciplined approach to those scrums here.
And Yale's clearance kick finds the hands of the Princeton fullback, and that's a big tackle by sophomore Tatway Lee, who's putting pressure. And then there's the turnover. Now Yale getting to attack on the front foot, just midfield of Princeton.
Referee awards a fantastic penalty there. Hard work there from the Bulldogs to win that. Daniel Marsh looking to clear the ball for touch.
And while we have a penalty here and another opportunity to introduce ourselves, I am Austin Ryan, and alongside me is Yale sophomore Lucas Holter. We appreciate you again joining us for today. And again, we are here at Yale's rugby pitch in historic New Haven, Connecticut. Our referee is Amelia Luciano. And congratulations, by the way, to Amelia, who will be refereeing her first international match next weekend. And she comes as a highly experienced referee, very familiar with the Yale team as well as the Northeast Rugby.
Yeah, pleasure to be here alongside you. Excited to provide some insights where I can.
And while we have a moment, we mentioned that this is the 2019 annual Kuranda Cup, and this cup is named in honor of Princeton alumnus Robert Kuranda. And Lucas, as a student at Yale, share some insight for us at home, the rivalry.
Yeah, so this is an important game. Obviously, it's the last of our spring season. Recently, there's been some changes in the format to the structure of the Ivy League. Therefore, this is the only opportunity we have to play against rugby clubs such as Princeton, given the North-South division. The particular significance of this cup is obviously foremost based in the academic rivalry and the fact that we are in the same conference. But we're honored to be a part of remembering Robert Kuranda every year.
And just to clarify, Robert Kuranda graduated Princeton in 2002, and he tragically passed away in an accident in Chicago in 2003. And since then, this rivalry has been established in his honor, the winning team taking home the trophy. And as you pointed out, this is a very intense rivalry. Regardless of team successes during the season, they always bring first-class competition to this game. Princeton, especially, having a lot to play for in the honor and the memory of their alumnus, and Yale looking to get on the winning side as they have not won since 2011.
2011, actually.
2011.
So obviously, we're out here looking for a big win, and I know our coach Greg McWilliams it's been important for him to try to get this victory.
And as they do so, here's an offload to Kevin Gallagher from Darien, Connecticut, and he finds his teammate Wei Lee, who's attacking the 22 of Princeton. Ball's been turned over, though, in the tackle. And it looks like another turnover. No, referee Luciano awards the penalty, second penalty on Yale for not rolling away in the tackle contest.
Good pressure here, though, from both teams, working hard in the rucks and making sure to give as little room as possible given these wet conditions.
And Princeton's fly half. The senior Andrew Slade finds touch and gains some territory. They'll be attacking from their own 10-meter line. Alex Rogers, the junior hooker, throws in, but the ball's been stolen by the Yale forward jumper. Princeton able to retain possession. Good pressure from the Yale defensive fringe. Here's Princeton through the phases. That's Slade to his center teammate Bargoda, the senior.
Strong tackle there again from Daniel Marsh, and another follow-up tackle by Scott Coburn.
Duneville going to continue to work the open side. This is Bellet, the senior tight head captain for Princeton, out on the wing. And Duneville finds the hooker, Alex Rogers. Ball falls backwards. No, referee calls a knock on, so Yale will have a scrum just outside Princeton's 22. And we continue to talk about it, the conditions, Lucas.
Yeah, so obviously that's exactly the kind of turnover we're looking for. Great pressure, great line speed up on the carrier, forcing a turnover and taking advantage of the slippery conditions.
As we take a look at that replay there, again, ball goes backwards, or ball's lost forward by the hooker, Alex Rogers of Princeton. And now Joseph Good will have an opportunity to attack with his scrum. And here goes the 8-man Jared Balter, the senior, going to go on the blind side, well supported by his teammate Harry Savi. And this is the big lock. Alex O'Neill going forward. Good to his fly half, Marsh. And this is the big flanker, Tatway Lee. Now Marsh. Inside ball and peeling around is good. Unable to find the handle. Yale support, able to retain possession.
Little slow ball here from the team, just trying to reset, regather some momentum. Obviously this is, and it's a turnover there for Princeton.
And that's the big number 5, Jeremy Evans, the sophomore lock, who's able to poach that ball on the ruck. And now De Neuville will get his team on the front foot. This is the clearing kick from Slade, the fly half, that finds a bit of grass. Fielded by Harry Savey. Well tackled, though, by a host of Princeton defenders.
Yeah, it's impressive here. Quick exit there from Daniel Marsh, looking to make it out to Henry Lodge. Oh, great kick here. Chases the grubber.
This is unable to find the hand is Henry Lange. That is the freshman outside center, able to counter and kick ahead. And as the ball is knocked into touch, Princeton will choose to take the line out. They did have the option of the scrum of the line out. Ball thrown to the back pod. Unable to find hand, but refielded. De Neuville regathering his teammates. He's going to go to the open side. And the ball has been intercepted by the big lock, number 5, Ian Reed. And he crosses the line in for a try for the Yale Bulldogs. 10 minutes into this contest. Lucas, you've been talking about the defensive pressure from the Bulldogs as we see everybody up.
Yeah. I just want to make one correction there. Sorry, a bit of confusion with the kit numbers. Actually, that was Alex O'Neill, our leading member of the line out there with a steal. But fantastic pressure and an early try here for Yale. Daniel Marsh fails to make the conversion, complaining that he doesn't have a cone, but clearly the slippery conditions making things challenging as ever.
So here we are, just under 12 minutes into this first half of the 2019 Kuranda Cup. The hosting team, Yale Bulldogs, get on to an early lead, 5-0. Princeton will look to kick off, and they kick deep into Yale's territory. Ball unable to find hand. That's Harry Savey, and the ball goes into touch, and it'll be Princeton's lined out just outside Yale's 22.
Now, clearly here a kicking game is playing to the strengths of Princeton and putting Yale under a lot of pressure, but equally Yale will be looking to take advantage of the wet ball and clear things out a little quicker.
This is Rogers to his back pod. Princeton forming a maul. Here's Rogers to his fly half. That is Slade. Ball's able to find out that no, this is Bargoda. Ball still unable to find hand for Princeton and into touch.
Once again, the line speed is of importance to Yale as they're coming up quickly looking to force errors like that.
Samar Chada, the sophomore, will look to throw in for Yale. Yale going with a short line out. And this is Reed.
Bolter there, carrying hard. He actually just joined us this season as a senior from the Yale football team and has had a huge impact on our results and general athleticism of the team.
And as the ball was kicked to space, it was fielded by the Princeton outside back. As we get a look at the replay here, ball's kicked over the top.
Great pressure here from Lucas Wiseman, just forcing him out of touch.
And this is Wei Lee, the sophomore flanker, throwing in. And the ball does not find hand. It is fielded up by the Princeton scrum half, but referee Luciano blowing it dead, saying the ball was lost forward by Princeton in the lineout. So it'll be a Yale scrum just outside their own end here. Lucas, Princeton having their opportunities, just not able to execute.
Yeah, no, it does feel like that. Feels like they're putting Yale under a lot of pressure here. Clearly the handling making things a little tough.
This is good. Finds Coburn going ahead, pressuring the Princeton defense. And this is Marsh clearing for Yale, and it's got an open. Oh, just unable to find hand. Unlucky for Malin Sorensen, the freshman wing at Yale.
Yeah, again, that's exactly what I was saying earlier, that Yale needs to put Princeton's back three on under more pressure and allow young players like Malin and Wiseman to take advantage of errors and bounces.
So it'll be a scrum to Princeton here on the far side of the field between the halfway and the 10-meter line. Sophomore De Neuville. Big contest from the Yale scrum. And the ball is untidy, and Yale looks to pressure, but referee Luciano says penalty against Yale, so it'll be a Princeton ball.
The scrums are looking a lot better, though, from both teams, a little bit more balanced. They're looking like they're getting back into the swing of things and getting used to the conditions. And we just saw Sorensen there trying to keep things in. Unfortunate not to.
And an attacking opportunity here for Princeton as they are about 15 meters away from the Yale try line.
Both teams seeming to be choosing smaller pods and fewer men in the line out.
Great throw over the top by Rogers. This is Kazanowski, the senior center for Princeton. Great counter ruck here by a host of Yale Bulldogs, and they force the turnover, getting back on the front foot. Good, relieving pressure with the outlet pass.
Tatway Lee there on the ground, making a couple yards. And Marsh with the exit over top. Kick stays in.
Kicks back. That is Will Kittler kicking and giving a chase is Princeton, fielded by Marsh, and he will look to exit. But ball does not find the hand of the Princeton. That is the Aaron Bergoda, the senior wing, and he knocks it forward. Unfortunate opportunity missed as we get a look at the replay here. Here's Marsh clearing, and Bergoda, with nobody in front of him, just can't handle the ball. Attacking opportunity squandered by Princeton. Yale scrum.
I think it's fair to say that both teams will be looking to improve how they're fielding these kicks. Obviously understandable given the wet conditions that it's more challenging than usual, but definitely missed opportunities from both teams.
Referee Luciano not happy with the scrum engagement and the scrum contest, so we'll have it again. Very good balance of experience in this front row for both teams. You have two senior props for Yale, one senior prop for Princeton, and then some other classmen as well. Does that have any impact, Lucas?
Well, definitely the pack for Yale, obviously aging, but a lot of the sophomores who just joined last year have made a big impact on the scrum.
And here is Coburn with a switch back, gaining some great yards. Good, going to look to get back on the front foot. And this is Large, out to his teammate, that is Wiseman, supported by Savay.
Well sealed there by CV over Wiseman, making sure we retain the ball as we approach the Princeton 22.
There's Balter, here's Marsh, Coburn, Pressured by Princeton, but Coburn's able to get away for a couple of tails, but he loses the ball backwards, fielded by Princeton.
See, that's the energy we've been needing, I think, from both sides. Enthusiasm to get on the ball and really make some yards.
And that's a great turnover ball forced by Yale. Here's Good back on the front foot, and now Marsh going to attack. Bartlett, and this is Savy. Back inside to Large. The big Balter, the big 8-man going forward. Here's Wei Lee to his teammate.
That's Ian Reed there, picking up the ball.
Marsh.
Looking to get things wide. Yale seem to have a 2-3 man overlap here on the outside.
And Marsh is going to go himself. He's going to go cutting up the field, and he will get in for the try. Number 2 on the day for Yale. Excellent individual effort there by Marsh.
Well, yes, we've seen that all year long. He's a phenomenal runner with the ball. Really reads the game well. But great build-up play, I think, from Yale here. Going from the right side, good handling, and then moving their way across the field. Taking advantage of that 2 or 3 man overlap, followed by some great foot kick.
Pretty impressive footwork considering the conditions.
Indeed.
Now, we're 20 minutes into the first half. Princeton has conceded 2 tries. If you've ever been in this position before, Lucas, what are you and your teammates saying to yourselves down 2 tries, trying to get back into this game?
Of course, what I think most important is that they go into the half with some confidence. They'll be looking to have a couple strong offensive phases, and particularly looking to score some points before they go into the half time.
And if you're Yale, how do you not let up?
Yeah, well, I think you gotta translate that intensity. They gotta make sure they see that intensity on the offensive side translating into the defensive fight and keeping up pressure.
And here is Large getting things restarted for Yale. This is Good to Geritano, the senior tight head prop. Princeton scrambling on defense, and Marsh is going to kick to space again. This time fielded cleanly by Princeton's wing, Bargoda. And he's going to go forward, and he's brought down hard by 2 Yale tacklers. Yale looking to poach over the ball. Ball retained.
Almost winning that turnover there, but I suspect it would have been a penalty regardless. Oh, another strong tackle by, oh wow, Coburn making a double tackle there, 2 in a row.
Denuville out to his big number 8. That's Chukwumba, the freshman number 8.
And this is exactly what I was talking about in terms of translating that offensive energy into defensive energy there, where Coburn making or attempting 3 tackles in the same amount of phases.
And referee Luciano is going to have a word with Yale about too many penalties, players not rolling away, not maintaining their feet. So while that energy is high, the discipline needs to be equally as high. And Princeton able to catch a break here, compose themselves, and get back on the attacking foot.
And absolutely, they need to be careful not to go a man down here going into the halftime.
Slade does not find touch. Instead, he kicks to the deep middle part of the field. And here comes Wiseman, the freshman fullback, getting things resettled for Yale. And Princeton has forced the turnover. This is Kachomuma.
Strong combo tackle there from Anthony Geritano and Tawile.
Denuville to his fly half Slade, who's going to reverse field. Princeton trying to use the short side. This is Slade asking questions of Yale's defense. Good. Back into the field. Big front row run. That's Hernan Vallis, the sophomore loose head, going forward for Princeton.
Definitely looking a little tidier here from Princeton.
Good, going to bring things back the other way. Ball does not find hand, sloppery. Geritano for Yale jumping on the ball. This is Carson Makonga, the freshman lock for Princeton going forward. Ball squirts out of the ruck. Untidy play. De Neuville able to field it, but he is brought down hard by Geritano, who continues to be on the front foot. Pressure for defense. This is Kachumba looking for the outlet pass, doesn't find hand. Instead, it's fielded by Karasnowski, the senior center. And the ball's come out of the ruck, and then excellent awareness from Marsh to pick it right up, and he's going to go under the posts for his second try of the day, third for Yale, and just like that, offense to defense, Yale, third try of the day, Lucas.
Yeah, no, that's fantastic defense there, and of course, great awareness from Marsh, looking at every moment to poach the ball. But again, another series of Princeton errors leading to a turnover where they really should have been sealing that ball out.
Marsh will look to add the extras of his own try. And now Princeton, 3 tries down, about 10 minutes to go in the game. How do you get back into this game, Lucas?
Well, I think it's the same momentum that they had there just for a few minutes. Unfortunate not to capitalize on it, but definitely can't be making these sloppy turnovers in their own 22.
And Princeton will get us restarted here. Ball not fielded by Samar Chetta, the sophomore hooker. Cleaned up, though, by Yale. This is the big flanker, Tatway Lee going forward. Good to Marsh, who will exit. Beautiful kick to relieve pressure, and then it'll put Princeton back on their own side of the field. Kicking game really working for Marsh and the Yale Bulldogs today, Lucas.
And a definite improvement from the first 10 minutes where we were struggling with the kicks, not getting enough distance and not finding the open ground. But definitely looking up here for Yale from a kicking point of view.
Here is Rogers to his back pod. Excellent lift, and Princeton attacking from the set piece. And Slade will put the ball high, and giving chases Will Kittler, putting pressure. Ball finds touch. Lucas, you're down 3 scores. Do you kick to and put Yale under pressure, or do you keep ball in hand?
Well, I think given the slippery conditions, kicking's probably going to be a better approach, just because handling's clearly proving difficult for both teams, and Princeton will be looking to force a turnover within Yale's 22, and a good way of doing that is, of course, off a line out.
Wei Lee looking to get things going again. Ball doesn't find hand, and Chikumba for Princeton fields it. Going forward now. This is De Neuville. And a knock-on called on Yale by referee Luciano, so it'll be a Princeton scrum about 25, 30 meters away from Yale's try line. Got to come away with points here, Lucas, if you're Princeton.
Most definitely. I think they'll be looking to spread things wide. Of course, they've got the blind side as an option here, and Will Kittler really does have some quick feet, so should be looking to take advantage of that.
De Neuville feeds the scrum. Yale scrum putting pressure, and they have won the turnover. Good's going to outlet to Marsh, and Marshall is going to exit and find, oh no, ball's well fielded by senior Bergoda. He's going to kick over the top and pressure. Well, Yale able to field. That's the fullback Wiseman in position in the right place, looking to outlet to his teammate Savi, but then a host of Princeton Tigers brings him out. As we get a look at the replay here, this is Bargoda kicking over the top, and that's Wiseman, the freshman, looking to counterattack, and Princeton able to support the counter kick, and now they have their own line out inside Yale territory.
And I think that's exactly what they're going for here, winning the line out again. Oh, another error on the handling. So I think that's an example, as we were talking about, of the fact that Princeton need to be able to push things deeper into the Yale half and avoid these handling errors.
And Yale playing with a knock-on advantage from the line out. This is good to Coburn. Large, Sevi, and Wiseman on the wing. Ball untidy in the ruck, and Princeton looking to counter here. Yale able to retain possession. Marsh slots in at 9. Here comes the big lock to Ian Reed.
Joe Good brings it blindside. Scoburn just about able to keep that in, passing it to Jarrett Bolter. Oh, he rolls over, bounces back up, and he's trying to stay in here with 2 men supporting him into the ruck.
Referee Luciano saying not held, and here's Good to Marsh. Ball unable to be handled by the big lock, that's Alex O'Neill, and so Princeton playing with advantage. They kick ahead. Referee Luciano saying no advantage gain, so this will be a scrum to Princeton just behind their own 10-meter line. As you can see, Balter here getting up, good sense of awareness to continue on and gain more territory. Just Princeton continuing to pressure defensively, and the handling always going to be an issue today with the conditions. Danuville feeding the scrum for Princeton. Yale continuing to pressure the set piece. Danuville able to outlet to Slade, who kicks to space. Giving chase is Sevi. Fielded is Wiseman. Able to skirt one tackle, but not the second, as Chicumba, the freshman 8-man for Princeton, pressuring the attack. This is Gallagher, the sophomore flanker from Darien, Connecticut, resettling things for Yale. Good to Marsh, and Marsh is going to kick over the top again. And Bargoda, the senior wing, is in the right place, but he is alone, tackled well. Oh no, referee Luciano says high tackle by the Yale Bulldogs.
Yeah, and Marsh really putting these back 3 under pressure, but they've reacted well, and they've been fielding these kicks for the past 10 minutes with a great deal of improvement compared to before.
And Slade's kick rolls out of the side of the try zone, so Yale will have the option for a scrum, which they choose. That Yale will have a scrum from where Princeton kicked it, just shy of midfield, with less than 10 minutes to go. Opportunity for Yale here to get attacking again. And this is Good. The senior halfback for Yale puts the scrum in. And now Princeton is going to put pressure on Yale's scrum. Good finds Marsh. And beautiful line inside from Henry Large, living up to his last name. This is Marsh to Wiseman. Good tackle by the Princeton defense. Good gonna skirt to the right. And here goes Savi kicking over the top. Back is Princeton's fullback, Greg McCord, the junior, looking to counter. Brought down by Simar Chadha, the hooker for Yale. Danuville. And this is an opportunity here for Princeton as they have numbers. Able to skirt one tackle, running, big, hard run. Unable to find hand is Kittler.
I think the referee's called a high tackle there. Alex O'Neill bringing down a strong run there from Princeton.
As we take a look at the replay here, this is the big center, Jack Kilgallen, running hard and forward, and Kittler just unable to receive the pass, and referee Luciano has yellow carded the big lock for Yale.
Yeah, Alex O'Neill will be off here for a little while, and that's exactly what I was talking about in terms of going into the halftime a player down, obviously allowing Princeton to gain some momentum going into the halftime break.
Princeton now with their line out on the 22 of Yale have to come away with points here. Up a man in the set piece. Big throw to the back pod by Alex Rogers, and he's going to peel and go back short side. Lost forward in the tackle by Rogers, and it'll be a scrum for Yale. Beautiful throw, excellent maul, but Rogers goes early, back to the short side, gang tackled, can't maintain possession. As we continue to talk about this in the conditions, ball retention has to be a priority.
Yeah, definitely. And also going alone out onto the blind side from a maul is obviously a risk, especially when you've got numbers in defense facing you. So looking to have some more support going into these runs and hitting these rucks for Princeton.
Scrum continues to be an equally contested set piece. Coburn outlets to Large. And the ball has been turned over by Princeton. That's the inside center, Kazanowski. He's going to go forward. He's brought down by multiple Yale Bulldogs. Denuville looking to get the ball out of the ruck. And it has been poached.
Phenomenal turnover there from Kevin Gallagher. Known to do that in every gameplay. Unfortunate not to keep it. Looks like he's won it again, however. 2 or 3 turnovers there in the same amount of phases.
And Yale, as they try to outlet the pass, ball has been intercepted by Princeton, and they go under the post for the first try of the game as they chip away at this Yale lead up a man. We're going to have a number for you in a second, but as we look at the replay, as you said, Gallagher, 2 turnovers in 2 sequences. Yale trying to outlet. Ball has been intercepted by the big number 5. That's Jeremy Evans, the sophomore lock for Princeton. And he goes underneath the post. And Princeton will look to add that extras and chip away at this Yale lead. Big momentum boost for Princeton there, Lucas. Yellow card, up a man, especially in the forward pack. And now you score a quick try.
Yeah, and that's what Yale would have been looking to avoid. Unfortunate to give the ball away there right on their own 5 meter. Converted here by Kittler. But of course, we don't want the forwards handling the balls like that or making offloads on the 5. But again, a very similar try, in fact, to the one we saw Alex O'Neill score to open the scoring today.
And as we are less than 5 minutes remaining in the first half, Yale leads the Princeton Tigers 19-7. How vital as a player are these last 5 minutes of the first half, Lucas?
Well, they can definitely be a little bit of a blur, but momentum is everything. And whether you're aware of the fact that you're going into the half or not, I think momentum is key, and Princeton clearly getting an upper hand here.
And here's Marsh putting the Tigers deep. Ball not able to be fielded cleanly, and referee playing advantage, so Coburn fields it. And we're going to play on here. Yale has an excellent attacking opportunity deep in Princeton's territory. Marsh stepping in at 9. He's going to throw it over the top. Beautiful pass, just not handled. And we'll go back to the original knock-on advantage for Yale right there. Missed opportunity for Yale to respond to the Princeton try.
But clever again from Marsh, knowing that he has the advantage to make a tricky pass out wide to try to take advantage of the width and give it a go. Not working out for them, but reverting back to the scrum.
This scrum contest has been highly competitive for this entire game. Both sides unyielding in their shove, whether they're attacking or on defense. Perhaps as we get later into this game, this set piece will play a massive factor. And here's Good.
Referee once again not happy with the scrum.
Yale will be scrumming a man down as they still are serving about 3 to 5 minutes more on the yellow card for the high tackle repeated penalty. Big shove from Princeton, good, able to field it anyway. Here's Coburn attacking the midfield. He loses the ball forward. Playing advantage, and referee Luciano blows it. And referee Luciano had the clock at full time for the first half. So at the end of the first half, we go into Yale leading 19-7 over the Princeton Tigers. This is a next level rugby production coming to you live from New Haven, Connecticut at Yale's rugby pitch for the 2019 Kuranda Cup. I'm Austin Ryan, and we will be right back with first half analysis and second half action from Yale.
Hey everybody, it is 2019, and in 2018, Next Level Rugby was all over the country and the world, bringing you coverage of our sport up close and personal. It all started in Denver, then headed out to Vegas, and then next thing you know, we're in New York City, Japan, Austin, Texas, and a bunch of other places all across the country. But we would really like to thank the players, our fans, and most importantly, our partners that are helping to drive the growth of American rugby here in the United States and beyond. So let's just take a look at some of the shots that, we really loved and fell in love with, and, what made 2018 a special year is going to make 2019 even better. We're looking forward to what 2019 brings, and stay tuned. And remember, every day is a rugby day.
Through local sponsorships, Tradeview Markets is committed to helping the sport of rugby grow. Investing in local amateur rugby teams around the world allows Tradeview to make a positive impact in the team's community and provide support where it is really needed, rather than advertising with professional teams that don't need the money. Rugby has played a huge role in Tradeview's phenomenal success. Many of our staff play or coach rugby, and we recognize the positive influence the sport has had in their life. This is our way of giving back to the sport. Our goal is to put a Try Tradeview logo on every top local rugby team jersey in the world.
It's great. We all love each other. We all like hanging out at these tournaments.
Just meeting so many new people and getting to know them is just amazing. And meeting so many new friends is definitely
Nah, one word is family. Like, you got people like you can depend on.
Probably my favorite part of playing rugby is like I can forget any problem I'm having at school or at home or just any kind of worry or burden and just like give it my all on the field.
And we all choose to come here. We don't have to be here, you know. It's just good fun coming out on a Sunday, playing, getting all together, and just great.
All right, so yeah, I think it's the fact that we can play very hard, smack each other up, boom each other, and just eat good and talk to laugh with each other after.
So, one thing that rugby has done for you?
It's brought up a lot of my confidence. I wasn't very confident in middle school, and I knew that if I wanted to become a better player, I would have to bring up my game, which I did, and I've just become so much like a better person to myself. I see myself in such a bigger light, and I'm honestly so much happier playing rugby.
I ain't gonna lie, if it wasn't for them, I don't think I would like be around here, to be honest. So I guess family.
New York Rugby Club is a great community because they put you around great people such as Alex, my coach Alex, and he teaches me more about rugby, how I can make my game better every day and elevate it to the next.
Nah, but like, you feel me? But like, I bet, like, you know how the hood is, so you know, like, it's crazy, like, around.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the 2019 Kuranda Cup here at Yale Rugby Pitch in New Haven, Connecticut, for the second half of the 2019 Kuranda Cup between the Yale Bulldogs and the Princeton Tigers. Yale leads with a score of 19-7, and Princeton will start the second half with the ball, trying to attack deep out of their own territory. Referee Luciano says play on as the ball went backwards. Yale continuing to give defensive pressure, and this is De Neuville, the scrum half, looking to clear the kick, and here goes Harry CV, the senior wing, to get things resettled for Yale as the Bulldogs look to attack on the front foot.
A great run there by CV into a wall of defense, but Yale looking to improve on just a slip of momentum there at the end of the first half. Strong carry by Tatway Lee. Joe Good looking for Daniel Marsh, trying to get the ball wide. Oh, good.
Marsh going to step inside, and here's Coburn attacking as he's done all day. Good going to use the short side. There's Marsh, and that's Wyman, excuse me. Here's Good finding his big front row teammate. That is Samar Chada. Here's Marsh to the big lock, O'Neal. Marsh, big pass over to the top. Yale continuing trying forward. Princeton desperate on the defense. Marsh slots in at 9. Outlets to Tatway Lee. Good and Marsh continue to connect. Marsh going to have a go himself. Tries to jab through. Referee Luciano awards the penalty. Offsides against Princeton. Marsh trying to go quickly. Luciano brings him back. Penalty to Yale for Princeton being offside. And here goes the big front rower for the Yale going quickly forward over the line.
That's Boyan, who subbed in at the first half here. Great try for him. The senior will be happy with that, sliding through, scoring his first try in several games.
And here's a replay as Marsh, big pass over the top to his teammate Malin Sorensen, trying to go deep into Princeton territory. Marsh, once the penalty is awarded, goes quickly and finds his big teammate, who barrels ahead forward for a Bulldog try. Having a little fun flopping around in the mud there, Lucas.
Yeah, and great play there by Sorensen to keep things in, working hard to not be pushed into touch as Marsh converts his third of the fourth today.
And with that brings the score, Yale Bulldogs 26, Princeton Tigers 7. And we have an opportunity to recap the first half. So, Lucas, your thoughts from both teams.
Yeah, so definitely wet ball making things hard, but Yale doing well to kick and put things under pressure, forcing errors and winning some turnovers, allowing them to get ahead. Princeton, on the other hand, making a few errors, but then taking advantage of the man down, gaining momentum into the halftime break, and looked like they were coming out strong for a while there. Somewhat unfortunate to concede a penalty on their 5-meter line. But Daniel Marsh having a cracking game so far.
And with that ends the yellow card and the man advantage for Princeton. And coming onto the field.
Yeah, we have Matteo Varela coming on for Alex O'Neill. Recently injured, looking to make a recovery back into the first team.
And Matteo comes all the way from Buenos Aires, Argentina. And here's the kickoff by Princeton, fielded by Yale. Good finds his teammate Geritano going forward. Good to Marsh. They're going to keep it in hand. Great inside run by Large. Well tackled, though, by the Princeton defense. Here's Marsh again. He's going to kick to space as he's done all day, and this ball will find touch. Princeton will have the line out just behind the halfway line. Yale continuing to kick for territory and ask questions of Princeton, Lucas.
What's been working so far for Marsh, so he'll be looking to continue that kicking pressure. I think Princeton should and will be adapting to that, although without that man advantage, of course, they'll be looking to maintain the composure and not go down too many more. Well, one line out there by Princeton, kicking deep into the Yale half, but well fielded here by Wiseman.
Wiseman, the freshman fullback for Yale, goes forward, resets things for the Bulldogs. Here's Good.
And Wiseman actually a talent off the field as well, producing his own music recently, a featured artist from Mexico.
And a big run ahead by the Yale Bulldogs. Good, going to continue to attack the short side. This is Large, playing aptly to his last name. Forced it into touch. And it'll be a line out to Princeton. Looked a little confusing there. Wasn't sure if it was a ball was in touch or Luciano was saying play on, but it'll be a Princeton line out here as Alex Rogers, the junior hooker, will get set to throw it in to his teammates.
And lineouts have been looking strong from both teams, largely winning their own lineouts.
Yale pressuring the line out in the front.
Did appear to be a knock-on from Alex O'Neill here before it went off of the Princeton player.
And Princeton chooses to have the scrum 15 meters into the field. Here we get a good look at both scrums.
Yeah, once again, showing awareness of the blind side, although it doesn't look like it'll be needed. Scrum collapses, penalty to Princeton.
And that's the first scrum penalty of the day for either side, which has been heavily contested. And the footing doesn't seem to be a massive factor for that set piece. And Princeton able to gain some territory here and able to now get on the attacking foot.
Sideline judge takes a little tumble here. Princeton looking to put it in and get into Yale's 22.
Here's Rogers. Play on, says the referee. Here's Slade to his center teammate who's going to take a stab through, fielded by Wiseman.
Well caught there by Wiseman under the circumstances with the incoming Princeton players and the wet ball.
Here's Good to Gallagher. Going forward. Good in the Yale getting on the front foot here. Big step back inside by the Yale number 16. Big outlet pass. Just can't find hand. Princeton will play with the knock-on advantage. Referee Luciano says that's enough. Too much untidy ball. And it'll be a Princeton scrum. Good for Yale to try and open things up a little bit here, especially with their lead.
Yeah, definitely, although risky of them to be playing that kind of ball within their own 10. I'd say they'd be looking to carry and keep things tidy, although Boyan has brought a lot of energy off the bench here, carrying with a lot of strength and conviction.
And Dobelak is the 6'3", 230-pound front rower coming all the way from Serbia, making an immediate impact into this game. This is Dave Neuville, the sophomore halfback for Princeton, feeding in. And Yale has forced the turnover and the penalty in the scrum. And Yale responding to the earlier penalty by Princeton, retaining the ball.
And Marsh looking to slow things down here, perhaps. Trying to cool off the pressure that they've been experiencing in the past few phases. But once again, getting a little untidy and around the scrum and looking things to keep things a little neater.
It just feels like Princeton has had their opportunities and have not been able to capitalize, and Yale, whenever they have the opportunity, are able to execute.
Definitely midfield play from both teams, looking quite well balanced, good tackling, good work in the rucks.
Here's good. Well fielded by Marsh, and this is a big run ahead by Balter, the senior number 8 man. Good, going to continue to work the wide side of the field. Here's Marsh, going to kick over the top, and he has a chaser that is large, fielded by Kittler, the wing for Princeton. Yale trying to force the turnover. Princeton able to retain their ball, and this is Slade who's going to kick over to the top, and right out of the back in position is the Yale back three. That's Wiseman, the fullback, able to slip one tackler, and he's going to get Yale back on the front foot with a big run forward. Good, going to look to outlet, and here is the big number 2. That is
Simachada. Yeah,
thank you.
Great run there. Excellent play. Boyan once again trying to pick up the ball, keep things a little tidier around the ruck this time.
Here's good. Outlet pass doesn't find Large's hand. Lost forward, no advantage gained by Princeton, and that'll be a Princeton scum just on the 10-meter line of the Bulldogs. Once again, Princeton has the opportunity to attack in Yale's end. They have to come away points here just as we get into 15 minutes into this second half, and Princeton trailing by 3 scores.
And the rain has subsided here, but the field remains very wet and rather waterlogged after a full night of stormy weather.
Looked like your teammates had a lot of fun bailing the water out before the game today, Lucas.
Indeed. Wet conditions in and around the tri-zone. Princeton off the back of a big win last week, going up 59-10 against Westchester Rugby, and Yale participating in the Ivy League Sevens tournament. Unfortunate to only come away with 1 win out of 4.
De Neuville finds Slade. He's going to put it over the top, and he's going to give it Kittler a chase. Well fielded by Sevi or Wiseman. Princeton looking to counter ruck. Good there to tidy things up for Yale. Large outlets to Wiseman. Gallagher and a host of Bulldogs able to recycle the ball. And this is Samar Chata going forward. And Chicumba for Princeton, hands in the ruck, unable to get away with that sneaky poach, and referee Luciano sees it, awards the penalty to Yale. Unfortunate break for Princeton as Chicumba was there to make the tackle. Ruck was formed, got a counter over. Yale tries to kick downfield, doesn't find touch, and Princeton here on the counter attack. That's the fullback McCord kicking back. Finds a bit of space. Favorable bounce for Princeton. Fielded by Wiseman, but Princeton is going to put pressure here defensively.
And Yale unable to get out of their own half here. It's been about 10 minutes of pressure from
Here's
Princeton.
The big Serbian going forward. And this is good. Outlet pass. Yale opening things up in the conditions. And this looked like Large is going to get down the field. He has a breakaway, steps back inside, slips one tackler. He has support on the end, finds the pass. Well tackled by Princeton. Yale lacking in support. Here's Coburn to the replacement. Good, and Marsh working back to the far side. This is Tetwit Lee, gives a dummy. He makes a break through the middle. He's brought down by Kachumba. Yale on the front foot, just 7 meters outside of Princeton's try line. Marsh to the outside. Yale 5 meters away. This is Tatwit Lee going forward. Princeton scrambling to defend its own line. Yale going to pick and go again. Big run forward, and the try is awarded to the Bulldogs.
Jarrett Bolter there scoring another fantastic try. Well worked there by the forwards to peel around the edge and take advantage of the fatigue.
Big run by the big boy, Mr. Large, wearing number 13. Able to outlet to his teammate. Scrambling defense by Princeton. And Marsh and Good working with their teammates going back to the open side. Beautiful dummy here by Tetway Lely going forward. Good patience by Yale. And as you said, the big number 8 barrels forward for the well-deserved try by the Bulldogs.
And that's where they've been taking advantage of errors in a way that Princeton have been unable to today. Resisting 10 minutes of constant pressure within their own half.
And Marsh adds the extras, and with that, it'll bring the score for this 2019 Kuranda Cup. Yale 34-7 over the Princeton Tigers. Princeton will kick back, fielded by Yale going forward. Bartler, the try scorer. Balter, the try scorer. Here's Good.
Well handled there by Bacavarella.
Ball untidy, refielded by Yale. Princeton unyielding its defense, but Yale continuing to play. And the ball is charged down by the Princeton defender, jumped on by Yale. Princeton unyielding in its defense, not giving up. Yale finally able to give the outlet kick. It'll be a line out to Princeton about 30 meters away from the Yale try line. And again, folks, this is a Next Level Rugby production coming to you live from New Haven, Connecticut for the 2019 Kuranda Cup.
And number 22, Simic, has been subbed here, freshman, out on the wing, wearing number 22, replacing Malon Sorensen.
Princeton trying to attack the middle of the field here off the line out. This is De Neuville, finds Slade, back to the short side, unable to find the hand. And it'll be a line out to the Bulldogs. Tetway Lee looking to throw in. Throws to the back pod. Good. Outlets to Marsh. Marsh to Balter. Coburn to his partner center, Large. Unable to handle the ball in the contact. Princeton has the advantage for the knock-on. Looking to kick through. Referee Luciano says no advantage gained, so it'll be a Princeton scrum. Yale, you can feel really building momentum here on the attacking foot, Lucas. Princeton playing too much defense.
It does feel that way. However, Princeton have managed to park themselves here in the Yale half, but struggling to get any points.
And De Neuville, the sophomore halfback, Hughes De Neuville, for Princeton, putting the ball in for the attacking scrum. Big shove by the Bulldogs. This is Slade. Here is Kazanowski. Back inside to Slade. Coburn reads the play well and snuffs it. Princeton able to recover.
Good hands there from Princeton, despite the weather conditions, probably taking advantage of the improved weather. However, unable to break through what has been a monstrous defensive performance from Scott Coburn.
And Justice Kakumba, the freshman number 8 man, wearing 7 today, unable to handle the pass. It'll be a Yale scrum just over halfway.
Approaching the last 15 minutes here of this contest, with Yale up by some margin. Princeton needing points desperately if they're going to come back into this affair.
And an excellent defensive pressure by the Princeton scrum and forcing the turnover. Good was smashed as he was looking to pass the ball out of the back of the scrum. And Slade is going to go kick over the top, and we're going to play on here, chasing his own kick. Yale able to recycle the ball to retain it inside their own 22. Here's Good.
Tatway Lee carrying hard into the Princeton line, unable to gain any yards though.
Marsh with a step back into the inside, supported by his teammates. Here's Good. And Yale will look to get out of its own end, settle things down as Princeton has the line out just outside Yale's 10-meter line. Almost feels that Princeton is continuously left wanting here as they are continuously pressuring Yale, but have no points to show for it, Lucas.
Yeah, and either side's had a somewhat lucky break with an interception, but Princeton unable to get any offensive phases together and points on the board.
And a sloppy throw in by Rogers of Princeton. Princeton's able... No, it's going to be turnover, and here's Marsh. He's going to attack on the front foot. Here's Large with space. And here's Yale with the attacking opportunity. Large back inside, tackled by Princeton. Ball recycled by Yale. Here's Good to a barreling runner ahead. Yale back on the front foot. It's the Serbian barreling ahead. Good to Marsh. Decides to keep it, goes forward. Referee playing advantage for the high tackle. Continuing to work the far side of the field. Yale has an overload. Marsh is going to kick ahead with the advantage. Yale giving chase. Ball unable to be field, but we're going to go back to the penalty for the high tackle as Yale will be right on Princeton's 22. Big look here. Here's Large, able to give the pass.
That's Simic there, making his impact on the game, passing it back inside to Large, doing well not to be pushed out to touch.
And after they get the high tackle advantage, Marsh going to try to kick over to the top. Just unfortunate to lose his footing here as he was looking to complete his hat trick on the day.
Yale taking advantage of the penalty call, hence the kick over the top there from Marsh, choosing to kick for touch afterwards. Now, not what Princeton are looking for here, defending from their own 22 as they trying to get back into this game, while Yale maintain that pressure and the offensive onslaught that we've been watching for the past 20 minutes.
Seems to be a stoppage in play as we need another ball as the last one went into the street. And Whaley now ready to get things going again. Ball fielded by Doblak over the back. Yale continuing to attack on the front foot. Here's Good to Marsh, to Balter, going forward. He's already got one try on the day, looking for a second. Princeton trying to hold up.
messy interchange here, but Yale look to recover the ball, setting up a good ruck.
Referee decides it was a tackle only, so Yale retains the ball. Yale just outside the try line of Princeton. Big pass to Balter, unable to field it, but Coburn's right there. He's inches away. Princeton desperately defending its line. Tyway Lee unable to handle the pass, and it'll be a Princeton advantage. And referee Luciano has seen enough, no advantage gained, so Princeton will have its scrum just outside its own try line. Sigh of relief for Princeton, source of frustration for Yale not to continue to add points.
And definitely important here that Princeton have an effective exit play and a good chase from the back three in the midfield to put themselves back on that front foot within Yale's half.
And here's Denuville with a big shove coming from Yale's scrum. This is Slade clearing the kick. Fielded by Wiseman, looking to link up with Seavey. Going to the far side. Here's Large stepping off his outside foot. Wiseman supporting the ball well. Back three really working together for Yale today.
Unclear who that came off as Wiseman chose to throw the ball against another body in an attempt to avoid going out of touch, waiting for the referee's decision.
And as we have an opportunity to acknowledge the reserves checking in, we've already acknowledged the big number 18, Mateo Becar Varela from Buenos Aires, Argentina. We have number 19, Ryan Vollmer. Princeton's going to continue on the attack with the line out, trying to get out of their own end.
It appears that Diego is in fact wearing the number 19 jersey, coming in at flanker here. Wiseman giving good chase and a kick over the top. Pressure from Simic. Missed tackle.
This is the fullback, Greg McCord, the junior from Princeton, able to settle things down for his team as Yale looks to pressure. And this is Slade clearing the kick, and Yale will have the line out about 40 meters from Princeton's try line.
And Josh Racine, another senior, comes onto the field to replace Ian Reed after a strong performance from the senior. And Josh Racine wearing number 23. And Vlad Saigu also checks in, replacing Anthony Geritano, who's had a tough game, working hard at prop.
Geritano, the senior, the son of police officers. Coach McWilliams called him the blue-collar worker of the team. And this is Yale. Balter looking to add to his total, unable to link up with Large. Ball doesn't find hand, and it'll be a Princeton line out.
Yeah, Coach Greg McWilliams choosing to rotate in some of the seniors, as this will be their last game for Yale. Equally, a lot of seniors on the Princeton team also looking for their last game in the Princeton jersey.
Denuville. And here's Slade, going to look to kick to space. Simic. Wiseman not able to get around the corner, but Simic there in support. Wiseman going forward. Was dragged out of bounds by Princeton, but referee Luciano says high tackle, so Yale will have the penalty 43 meters away from Princeton's try line. Are you impressed by the work rate this late into the game by both teams, Lucas?
Yeah, it's impressive. Obviously, a lot of the new substitutions providing their energy and trying to have an impact on this game, and as well as maintaining that level of communication among the ranks. Captain Marsh here kicking to touch.
Great look from the sideline camera there. Excellent look at Marsh. And here's Yale going to continue to attack. And Wei Lee ready to throw it in. Yale going with a short line out. Ball doesn't find hand, so Princeton scoops it up. They're going to get things going here. Kachumba there in support. That's the big number 3, Sam Bellett, the captain, senior tight head prop for Princeton going forward. Denuville to Slade. Backline able to go through the hands. Great tackle there on the end by Large. Princeton bringing it back in field, playing with the advantage. Ball charged down, no advantage gain, so referee Luciano will go back to the first penalty. Offsides is the penalty on Yale. Just a little over anxious as Yale's defense has been stingy and impressive all game long.
Well, it goes to show that they're still working hard, looking to put Princeton on the back foot and win that gain line.
Slade not able to find touch. Simic gives a great step, continuing to work along the slide.
Doing well to stay in touch there. Untidy ruck, but Captain Marsh managed to recover the ball.
Balter still playing at a high level. This is Gallagher.
And Gallagher's work rate has been phenomenally high this game, although his time on the ball hasn't been too vast, but also the likes of Tatway Lee doing well, and many of the other members of the Princeton scrum working hard despite it being very late in the game now.
And Kittler, the wing for Princeton, gives a kick and chase, but players were offsides, and so it'll be a penalty to Yale just at midfield and Yale has the option to take the penalty from where the ball was kicked or where the ball was recovered, and Yale will choose to go up to where the ball was kicked, and they'll have the scrum up from where the ball was kicked. So Yale now having another attacking opportunity as we get into the final minutes of this 2019 Kuranda Cup.
And while Princeton obviously down now by quite a few points, I think they'll be happy and proud of their defensive performance at times. A few errors, particularly handling errors, being their downfall, and some great individual plays from Marsh, as well as energy off the bench from Boyan to score the most recent try.
And checking in at scrum half is number 21, Will Smith, the freshman for Princeton. Big pressure here from the Princeton's pack. But here goes Marsh around the short side, and he's able to slip 2 more tacklers, throws back inside to Balter. Great hands, needs some support players. Princeton trying to force the turnover, and they are awarded the poach. Balter, great break, just not enough support there, Lucas.
Yeah, unfortunate to turn over the ball, obviously holding onto the ball despite the tackle, but great step here from Marsh. And lovely offload, incredible handling, and just unlucky not to score his second of the day.
And Princeton, with under 5 minutes to go, going to look to continue to run here, but Yale recovers the ball. Here's Marsh, big pass to Coburn. He's going to make a gap, and he will score for the Yale Bulldogs right under the post. Yale's experience, ability to transition from a defense to attack, very impressive today, Lucas.
And really showing here, you know, we've been saying it all game, Scott Coburn's been a defensive animal, but amazing to get this try. He'll be happy with his performance on the day, and perfect capstone to his Yale Rugby career, frankly.
And if you're Princeton, you just got to kind of ask yourself, what more do we have to do to get points on the board? It just doesn't seem like we're getting any breaks here. And is that Princeton errors or Yale defense, or a combination of the both?
Naturally a combination, but it's starting to feel like Yale's defense has just been non-stop and really enduring through this contest, and they've been living up to everything that Princeton have thrown at them. But of course Princeton will be frustrated not to have had a few more opportunities, particularly in the start to the second half where they had a lot of momentum. But Yale have done an admirable job to keep the score at only 7, and of course on the offensive side 40, an impressive total.
We are getting into the final minutes here of the second half of this 2019 Kuranda Cup. Big kick deep in Yale territory. Here goes Marsh. He's going to kick to space. Fielded by McCord.
Wiseman up strong, putting pressure on the receiver. Boyan wrapping up high, but bringing him down.
And Kakumba, the freshman 8-man, settling things down for Princeton. Yale just off their feet in the counter ruck. So Princeton will have the penalty at midfield. So Lucas, as we get into full time here, your thoughts on the man of the match for today?
Well, I'm going to have to say Yale's Daniel Marsh. He's been all over the field, kicking well. Obviously, two scores for him, involved in almost every play, almost setting up Bolter there right at the end, but he's been constant and a threat every time he gets the ball.
And right on cue, Marsh throws a beautiful pass over to the top to Large, and CV able to field it. Brought down hard by the fullback McCord of Princeton. Yale not letting up in their attack. And the big Serbian brought down hard, but Princeton was up early, so Yale will have the advantage. No advantage gained, and it'll be Yale's penalty for Princeton being offsides as we get to the 80th minute here at the 2019. Of course, referee Luciano has the official time on the field. Yale, now, Lucas, for those of us not familiar with rugby, it's 40-7. We're almost at full time. Mercy rules don't really exist, do they?
Well, certainly not at a college level and not in a cup like this where everything's to play for. And while, respect from both teams, obviously as the game still goes, there's nothing going to stop either team from trying to get more points on the board.
Wei Lee throws to the front lifter, and Yale's going to charge ahead forward down the short side.
And two recently injured players returning to the field, as we said earlier, the senior Vlad coming in for his final game of his career, and Ryan Vollmer, number 20, checking in as a flanker, and he was recently injured, has been playing as a lock and a flanker this season.
Rogers throws over to the back. Bellet able to get it back to Denuville. Princeton attacking in the middle of the field. Yale unrelenting in its defense. Denuville tries to kick over the top, but it's been charged down. Princeton will ground it in its own end for a 5-meter scrum for Yale. Another good look here. Here's Denuville. Big kick right into the big Serbian. Ball rolls into the try zone, and it'll be a scrum for Yale, attacking 5 meters outside of Princeton as we are in the waning minutes of the 2019 Kuranda Cup. Yale's going to look to add to their large lead.
And both teams fielding a almost entirely new set of forwards, only two starting forwards remaining in that Yale scrum there, and a similar figure for Princeton here.
Princeton unable to keep their footing in the scrum, so referee Luciano will have it again. Excellent look here from the field level by our next level rugby camera crew.
And I know that Yale's coach, Greg McWilliams, will be absolutely thrilled if Yale, and it looks like they will, come away with this 2019 Kuranda Cup victory with a total of 40-7 on the scoreboard. And, this is 8 years since he last took the team to victory.
Yale not going away quietly as they're going to look to knock on the door, barreling forward. Princeton, got to give them credit, not letting up. Good, happy to let the forwards just go forward.
Boyan carrying there strong, and it looks like he scored another on the day. 2 tries for the senior Boyan, bringing the score up to 45-7 before Marsh looks to add 2 more.
Great look from the field level replay here. Forwards communicating well. Big barreling run. Try awarded.
And that's what he does best, and a huge impact off the bench today for Boyan.
You ever have to tackle him in practice?
Oh, you betcha. Not fun.
And Marsh adds the extras. Like we said earlier, referee Luciano has the official time on the field, so we're going to get a little more rugby here. Yale leading Princeton 47-7. We're coming to you live from New Haven, Connecticut at Yale's rugby pitch for the 2019 Kuranda Cup, featuring the Princeton Tigers and the Yale Bulldogs. This is a next level rugby production. Princeton making some changes. At the backs is number 22, Luke Hall, the senior for Princeton. And this is Slade with the restart.
Well fielded there by Josh Racine, getting his hands on the ball for the first time in this game.
Here's Good. Laura just not able to handle the ball, so it'll be a scrum to Princeton.
Unfortunate knock on there for the senior prop. You have to respect Princeton for not giving up, pushing into Yale's half right at the end of this game here.
Scrum is not steady, so we'll have a reset.
And Yale have really shown their depth here today, I think, in terms of taking over in this second half, with a range of different players coming in and raising their game and raising the overall game of Yale's performance towards the end. Obviously matched by consistent work rate from the Princeton substitutes and those who've been out here from the beginning.
Kachumba took the ball off the base and able to go forward for Princeton. Out on the far wing, this is Kittler going forward. Yale's defense making Princeton's attack frantic. Ball's finally fielded by the midfielder, Jack Kilgallen. Little stab through by the fullback McCord. Fielded by Wiseman.
I think it'll be interesting to look at the defensive stats today for both teams in terms of tackle completion rate. Obviously difficult with the wet ball, but I think tackles on both sides have been fairly strong other than a few slippery attempts earlier in the game.
Here's Kittler looking the outlet. Big tackle by Boyan. This is Kittler to Slade. Going to kick over the top out of desperation. Not a great kick as loads of Princeton players are off sides, but referee Luciano awarding the knock-on by Yale, so it'll be a Princeton scrum, and that's what great defense does, Lucas.
Definitely forcing them back on the inside, obviously pressuring that kick and making sure that Princeton can't take advantage of that turnover. But certainly sealing these rucks has been well done by the Yale team and put Princeton on the back foot several times.
Joe Good trying to take the scrum for himself. Referee Luciano says, no, sir. Ball squirts out the back. Here's Kachumba. Gets a big run. We finally get a big look at the freshman 8-man, and he offloads to Kittler. Princeton putting phases together here. Gallagher for Yale over the ball again. Referee Luciano says away now. Kittler to Slade. This is the midfield. That is the flanker, Owen Tedford, going forward. Kasanowski to his wing, Bargota.
Does well to keep it in there, actually, for Princeton, with a big tackle from CV trying to push him out of touch.
Yale over the ball. Princeton with the penalty. And Princeton's going to go quickly here, catching Yale unawares. Here's Kittler back into the field. Big run ahead forward. Princeton finally away. Yale clean steal there, and just like that, Princeton's attacking opportunity is squandered. Yale looking to exit here.
I think both teams looking to be composed. Daniel Marsh showing his frustrations, just wanting the ball, seeing if he can clear it out for touch. And he does. And that's full time here today.
And ladies and gentlemen, this has been the 2019 Kuranda Cup, coming to you live from Yale's rugby pitch here at Yale University in New Haven, Connecticut. For Lucas Halter, I am Austin Ryan, and we thank both teams. Wonderful match, well played. Thank you for joining us. This has been a Next Level Rugby production. Thank you very much. We'll see you next time.